Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. And yes, let's have some fun with stablecoins. My name is Michael, and it's a pleasure to be here. Actually, I studied here, so that's really cool to be on the other side for once. Quick background. I'm from Liquidity Protocol. From those who don't know, it's an interest-free borrowing protocol against ETH. Also, the unstoppable stablecoin, LUSD, you might have heard of it. It's live since 3 years. Another typo there today, birthday, 3 years, and it has managed 4.7 billion in loans. But let's talk about stablecoins. Actually, can you hear me well with this thing? Can you hear me? Great. Just a basic before we start. I think we need to distinguish two models, or I distinguish two models. One is a reserve model. Usually you have fiat, euro, or dollars, and then a stablecoin is issued against it. Or you have the CDP, collateralized debt position model, where you usually have crypto, a bit more crypto than the stablecoin is worth, because crypto is volatile. Yeah, and let's dive in. I hope you can read it. What I did, I just took the top 15 stablecoins on Ethereum, plotted them out, and we will deep dive and dissect that a bit. Before we start, let's do a quick poll. We are here in a university, so in my time, everybody had to knock kind of on the table at the end. Let's try that once for the poll. You knock on the table. Yeah, great. So I will go through some stablecoins, and I would like to know in the room, which of these stablecoins do you think in, let's say, 4 years will be still the leading ones or will have become the leading ones? Who thinks Tether? Great. USDC? Okay. There is more passion for the USDT, but USDC overall, bigger adoption, DAI? Okay, DeFi camp, then let's, Ethena? Wow, but you know, hopefully you know Ethena. We had a lot of fun recently on Twitter, kind of with Maker and Ethena. You need to catch up on that. What about PayPal, USD? Interesting, interesting. Then Curve, USD? Okay, the DeFi camp. Would be interesting to hear why. Let's take our own LUSD. Okay, nice. That was nice that you clapped there too. So let's dive into it. Which stablecoin will last? First, let's quickly look at those. I will break those up. So first, let's look at a reserve model. Fiat-backed, top 15, quite a bit. Quite a bit of the stablecoins in the top 15 are fiat-backed. Only one of the reserve models is crypto-backed, that's Ethena. Interesting, a newcomer. Then we have CDP-based. I'm a bit mean here. Because fiat-backed, I mean, these are DeFi stablecoins, but they have USDC, PayPal USD, and real-world assets in it, mostly, or half of it. So that's why I would say it's rather fiat-backed. And then we have two crypto-backed in this top 15. This gives you a first impression how the landscape looks like. And if we go further, you remember CDP-based models, they are mostly crypto-backed. I would distinguish 4 models. We have Maker, if you know it, interest rates, collateral, everything governed, which has pros and cons for those who follow Twitter. We have Liquidity V1, our own stablecoin, interesting, totally different approach. A one-off fee, everything else is immutable. We have something like Curve that plays in the same league, where we have, for the first time, a bit an interest rate controller at this size. The rest is governance. And a quick alpha outlook, what we try to do, something new with our V2, where we have interest rate and risk parameters driven by the market instead by a governance, which can be of advantage if you followed Maker, in my opinion. So, which stablecoins will last? I think we have to differentiate a bit what makes them successful. I think there are 4 factors I would say that help for adoption. There's utility, liquidity, yield, interest rate model, a peg, and counterparty and regulation, I think will play a role. So how do they do? the existing stablecoins. Utility and liquidity, you see Tether clearly with payments. Let's say, for example, on Tron, half of the stablecoin volume is happening on Tron. Centralized exchanges, pairs, USDT is the leader. I think USDC is quite strong also in store of value. People like to hold it or can hold it. DAI is clearly strong in DeFi. Yield interest rates models, where do they work or how do they perform? I think DAI, that introduced real-world assets, did clearly well. Ethena is doing amazing. You're getting amazing yields if the market is going good. Let's see what happens if market goes down. And you have other ones that are bringing real-world assets into DeFi, like USDM, or you get LP yield pool. These are just different ways how to provide yield. So, I mean, at the end, somebody needs to hold your stablecoin. You have to have demand for your stablecoin. These are the different ways. An interesting picture. How do they keep the peg? I would say most of these have a hard peg. And how do they achieve it? Just because somewhere in a bank account or somewhere there lies a dollar or something in the traditional financial world that is backing it. And it's quite shocking. Of the 15, only 3 work a bit different or haven't such a hard peg. One is Ethena because, it's more a derivative trade. And then we have Curve and our own stablecoin that are more volatile because they are backed by crypto, and it's just harder to keep the peg there. Another interesting one, counterparty and regulation. Didn't play a role, but if you think which ones will last, I think that will be a really important question. And I put centralized very generally, can be the entity, can be the collateral, but of the top 15, I would say a lot of them are tied still to traditional finance, have some centralization vectors, and I would say probably again Curve and our stablecoin have really few vectors. So that's a differentiating factor. Why are we looking at these factors? Because if you're really good in one of them or in a combination, I think you're here to last. You need to differentiate. You need to cater to a target audience. Another differentiator, also an interesting one, for the counterparty, who are you trusting? In all these stable coins, I would argue you trust the company or some middleman. You trust the governance, I'm being nice here, or even a multisig, which means 10 people or so. And then there are the ones where I would say you'd rather trust in code. Again, there's Curve, there's our stablecoin. Yeah, so I think I just wanted to set the scene now, show a bit how I think the winners could look like, who will last. For me, I think I see three categories. We have the safety, I called it safety, the opportunity, and the sovereignty. What I mean with safety is I really think we probably underestimate in the space how regulation will kick in. Like all these stable coins that can survive right now probably might be pushed out just because their setup isn't so sound. So I think we will see an extreme. Today, I think we have most stablecoins somewhere in the middle where you can say, I have great yield, I am really integrated in DeFi, I have amazing liquidity. All these things can give you an edge, why you might last, why people will use you. In the future, I think it will be much more extreme. I think you can only survive if you're properly regulated, properly really decentralized, so you can play kind of in your own field, or you're in between and you have some opportunities you can use, and hopefully they last, or you have to find a new one. Just, where is the market cap? I mean, it's crazy. I would say today, 60 billion would go into the regulated one. Would play. I don't say they're properly regulated, but the major one will need to tackle these questions. Otherwise, they will have a hard time. 1 to 2 billion I will put in the middle, and on the sovereignty side, I would say right now it's only a market cap of 250 million. On the left, you have that's PayPal, USD, USDC. I think probably they are the strongest ones. PayPal USD is not known, but I think it's one of the best dollars besides USD you can hold. Better than have it in your bank account. A lot of people don't realize that. Then you have Ethena or USDT. I have it with the opportunity bucket. USDT is great, but I don't know how long they can hide, and if kind of in the safety bucket, traditional financial institutions like BlackRock or somebody's coming in, they will have an easy time to push these players out. Then they might go to Asia or find these places. That's why I call them opportunity. But if they don't face the left side and aren't in the right side, yeah, you have to find your sweet spot. It can be a jurisdiction, can be a target audience. And then you have the sovereign ones on the right, where the market cap is still small. And the great thing is, I think we don't have to divide the pie differently. The pie will grow for all of them, and probably proportion will stay the same. So, coming one step closer to the conclusion, what's also interesting is where of these two models, which model is strong where? I think this reserve-backed is really great for these regulated ones, the CDP models for the ones that hold crypto, battle-tested. In the middle, a lot of place for innovation. Seeing crypto-backed stablecoins that go with a reserve model, or maybe the opposite, with a CDP model, haven't seen a lot of innovation there. By the way, I'm not a full expert in all of these stablecoins. If you disagree, if you have an opinion, shout in, and then we'll tackle your view on it. So, here are the success factors again. Which CDP, crypto-backed stablecoins will last? And yeah, I wouldn't say that there's a strong order, but just looking in the future, I think it's really important that you kind of don't fall too much on the regulatory scrutiny so that people can touch you, kind of take in your stablecoin, that your yield interest rate model really works, and that utility and liquidity is there, and that your peg works. So these are more the CDP-based. There are also some stablecoins that were not in the top 15, but I think these are the ones that are out there. Now, who's the winner? Let's pick one. No, but my point was more, I think they're all great, and we have seen some really cool new model like FX, USD, Synthetics is already out there for a long time doing a good job. Curve has innovated really nicely, but honestly, I think we haven't seen the winner yet. I think we need the next generation of these stable coins. Curve has, in my opinion, right now, a broken interest rate model. Where is that's an interesting point. Figure out if you know where the interest goes of any stable coin on the borrowing side, and where is the yield coming for the stable coin. It's quite astonishing that how this different model works. Curve, for example, you pay a borrowing rate, it goes to the Curve holder. But who pays the stablecoin holders? That comes from Curve price. So there are different models. For example, Curve, I think they're working on improvements, and there are other models that are nice but can be improved. So a first conclusion on the reserve-backed model, I think we will see a bit of washout. I think that the future, also with MiCA in the EU, there's not much place for a USDT. I don't know which institution that wants to use it can use it. I talked to somebody from Binance today. I have no idea how Binance in Europe, kind of what they will be trading against which stablecoin. Which stablecoin is in 5 months MiCA compliant, so they can trade it with European customers. Some question marks. And the same on this CDP side. So a quick thing, what I think, how a next generation CDP could look like, and I think all these projects have amazing approaches. I just want to give you an example how we approach it. I think LUSD has done great, has also now in the current interest rate environment some drawbacks. So I think also we need to innovate. And I think we need to innovate on all these factors. I mean, decentralized, our project is already really good. Let's keep that because I think it helps in the future to play in its own league, to be still able to play in DeFi. So that's, for example, a concern. I'm really wondering a project like Frax or Maker, how they will navigate that in the next 3 to 4 years. And what happens to the team that is exposed? You know, once one of their leaders becomes such a letter of a 3-letter agency, how can this project still maneuver? So let's see. Yield interest rate model, something we learned. We have really a new cool concept, user set interest rates. So for the first time, the user, you can set the rate you want to pay. That sounds really cool, has a caveat, but introduces a really nice model which is much more balanced. That we say people that borrow should pay the people that hold the stablecoin. That's a basic model, and we try to make that really simple and balanced and connect in a peer-to-peer way these actors. And it's astonishingly how very few projects are doing that. On the utility and liquidity side, how can you improve that? For example, we only took in ETH as a collateral. LSTs, everybody's doing that. I think you need to innovate there too. PIL, you heard it here first, is protocol incentivized liquidity. So making sure that the stablecoin has liquidity. Is there a sign? Do we have 5 minutes? Yeah, okay, good. I was like, okay. Okay, people are taking pictures, good. Yeah, protocol incentivized liquidity. Also something overseen. You have you have a stable coin, you have a borrowing solution, but you have no idea if tomorrow the liquidity is still there, which is really, really important. Is somebody still voting for that? What happens? So I think we need stronger guarantees, a quality of service in the protocol itself. So also field of innovation. PEG, yeah, there are always ways. It's a really hard problem. How do you make a PEG better without taking in USDC or the USDT? We have some ideas, we have some volatility, there's a trade-off, but we can improve. So I think one last thing about then V2, well, just to show you kind of, I think, how much potential there is to innovate is with V2, we really try to make use of the advantages of blockchains and the markets out there and the users. So there are 4 innovations that kind of we use users that set the interest rate to make the model more resilient. We use algorithms to distribute the yield from one side to the other. Why does governance need to be in between? Why can't we just funnel and connect borrowers and stablecoin holders? Protocol incentivized liquidity, build that algorithmically into the protocol, and even the risk management. So the big drama we have seen with Maker and Ethena, how quickly can we onboard these things? We try to do that in a way that the market say, hey, we think that is risky, I'm going out, I'm not backing that anymore, and people pay a price. So kind of incentives to manage the risk is built into protocol. Also something I haven't seen before. So we are really excited to see that when it's live. But maybe one question, why are we doing that? I hope here at ETH Zurich, but also at Liquidity, we really think we need a sovereign crypto dollar. And you have seen the trade-offs that these dollars make, and I think there's room for everything. But you've seen how very few in the top kind of take the trade-off that you really know you own your stablecoin, you can redeem it against crypto, nobody can take it away, there is no intermediary. I think we need something in each ecosystem. We need trust like crypto credit. So you can take your credit, you can self-service your credit. We shouldn't have dependency on the intermediaries. And yes, if it's not your protocol, if you don't have the same control and knowledge like the team itself, probably somebody has an advantage. So if it's not your protocol, it's not your finances. And if you kind of identify with these things, then please follow us, because we try to make products for this target audience, for ETH believers, liquidity.org, or on Twitter. If you're interested in these new approaches, we just published a lot of content, some content that gives you an idea about that. And with that, I mean, which stablecoin will last? I think the future is bright, and I think the new models need to come, and there will be a lot of movement that we'll see.
Thank you very much, Michael. We have time for one very quick question. Do we have a question?
Thanks. So what's your view then on the, what's your view on the Athena Morpho maker wanting to mint up to 600 million a DAI? What's your personal view and how do you think that could potentially affect all of DeFi?
My personal view on that is it shows the danger of this governance. And it shows kind of the users how few people have the control, how quickly things can change. You can go 1 week on vacation, you don't know what is backing it anymore and how they can change. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it bubbles it up, something people weren't aware. And I think, yeah, that's a risk, and that's not what I signed up for. I'm pro-governance, but I think it needs to be done more responsibly. I'm a bit shocked how this protocol, how quickly they rush into it. So it gives you a sense what motivates them, kind of what is the driver. It's probably not the security of the end user and the investor.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Round of applause.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.